Hey, what is going on, everybody? This video is going to be slightly different than the couple in the past. I'm very excited to bring this video because it's something that will provide some actual value other than entertainment.
If you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe.
Today I'll be comparing the top of the line body composition test, the DEXA scan, with the body weight scale that I've used for the past 3 months now, and comparing body fat percentages and how the muscle and fat breakdown is done with the DEXA scan versus the scale itself. If you clicked on the video just to see the results themselves, you can click here. But if you want to stay and learn more about how both of the tests are done, stick around and we'll get right into that. So first we'll go over the body weight scale and how it measures body composition. This is the RENPHO Bluetooth body fat scale that you can find on Amazon really easily, and it runs you just about $27. This scale, like many others on the market, uses a thing called BIA, or bioelectrical impedance, to determine body fat percentage, what that part of that is fat versus muscle, and several other things, and does its best to try to calculate things like bone weight and body water percentage and things like that. So how it works is by sending an electrical current through your body using these nodes on the scale and determining what is muscle versus body fat depending on how fast the current moves through that part of the body. The current will move slower through fat and bone than through muscle and water. Now, scales like these that uses BIA, they have like a 4 to 8% margin of error depending on the individual. So historically, it's pretty good, especially for the price. That's the best bang for your buck. As you can see on screen, it is pretty robust in terms of all the things that this scale claims to calculate. DEXA stands for Dual Energy X-ray Absorptiometry. Yes. And uses low dose radiation to give us an idea of body comp. So I don't want to get too detailed into the DEXA, and just want to focus more on the comparison between the results we got from the DEXA, which we're going to consider correct, despite its 1 to 2% margin of error for most people. Obviously with anything, depending on the individual, it could be more than that, but we're going to consider this what my actual results are, and then we'll compare that with the results I get from the RENPHO scale. Okay, we're going to jump into the results here, but before I do, I just want to reemphasize that these are just my results, and whether they're accurate or inaccurate is unique to my body type. So your results on your scale may be more similar or less similar to something you might find from a DEXA. It's person by person, but just want to keep that in mind when we're moving forward with this. So the things we're going to focus on here are the very basics. We're talking about weight, body fat percentage, what part of your weight is fat, what part of your weight is lean muscle. If you're interested in more of the nitty-gritty numbers, the final results I'll include at the very end of the video, and you can look at all the things that we see from the scale, or the app that the scale uses, and the results that I got from the DEXA. So we're going to get right into it here, and for the sake of not being super overwhelming, we'll just look at one item at a time, and that will start with just the weight. I weighed in on this morning on the scale at just 188.4, right when I woke up after I used the bathroom, like as low as it would be. I got 188.4. I just drank 1 cup of water on my way from my house to the scan, which is only like an hour away. And wearing my joggers and my t-shirt, I weighed on the DEXA at 191.1. So the little asterisk there, and the weight difference is that the difference in weight between me not wearing anything and me wearing the joggers and the shirt, the difference was like 1.4 pounds. That's how much the clothes weighed. So when you take that out, I mean, the scale is going to be good at weighing you. So for the sake of argument, they're going to be the same. So next, and what we're most interested in here, is just the body fat percentages. The scale had my body fat percentage at 14.9% this morning, and it fluctuates every day, but it's right around the 15% mark right now. The DEXA scan had me at a 16.5% body fat. And again, we're going to take that and say that that's the correct number. It has it broken down by body part even. So we're going to say it's 16.5%, and our difference there is just a 1.6% difference, which for the sake of everyday people, I guess, like that's not that big a deal. If you're training, you're dieting down, like it's it's not necessary to know exactly what your body fat percentage is, I would say, but to have this rough target is good. And what's most important is just to track that progress. So if you're using the scale and it says you're 15, but you're actually 16 and a half, it's okay, because as long as you're tracking your progress, that's what counts. So if you want to get down to a roughly 12%, you can still track that using it, and you might end up being a 13 or something like that, but either way, you're seeing what percent leaner you're getting. So at this point, you have your total weight and then your body fat percentage. So you might say, well, doesn't that mean I can calculate then what percent fat, or how much fat and how much muscle mass do I have? And the answer is like, yes, sort of. You also do need to factor in bone weight. So I'll show the results here of the fat and the muscle distribution comparison. The scale had 28 pounds of fat, and the DEXA had 30.4 pounds of fat, difference of 2.4 pounds, which when you compare that to the difference in muscle, the scale had a slightly more accurate muscle read than the fat read. I don't know if I need to look too far into that, but that's where it's getting the difference. The DEXA scan had my bone weight at 7.3 pounds, and the scale had it at 8 pounds. So that's the difference then. So you have your fat pounds, muscle pounds, plus your bone weight. That's going to equal your total weight. So because of that 2.7 pound difference between the DEXA and the scale, that definitely didn't help when you're talking about like such small numbers like this. We'll know for next time. So the reason why this is noteworthy is because you can tell that the scale is not just coming up with an arbitrary body fat percentage number. It actually is differentiating between the fat mass and the muscle mass. The biggest thing, in my opinion, that differentiates the two and makes me lean a little bit more towards going with the scale, despite, the results were pretty close, but the difference is a DEXA scan is going to run you between $100 and $125 to do it one time, whereas the scale is $27 and you can use it every day and track progress, and that's more important in my opinion. If you're competing or something like that, it might not be a bad idea to do the DEXA every once in a while just to make sure you're on track, but for most people, this is going to be close enough, and especially for the money, a great alternative. So again, real quick, if you did want to see the total numbers, I'll leave that up on the screen now. You can take a pause, look at some of the numbers. I'm definitely going to use this information as the most out of shape I want to be in this prep, and I have some target body weight goals to hit and body fat percentages I want to hit, but I'm definitely just going to use the scale and kind of tweak it how I've seen the numbers work for me, and use that as a basis for how much progress I'm making. So there you have it. You have body fat percentages tested using the gold standard versus something much more affordable and attainable. I hope you enjoyed the video. I very much enjoyed making this one. If you have any questions, leave a comment, send me a message. I'd be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. And that's it. See you in the next one.